So we're gonna go ahead and take these, remove this cover right here. It's got 3 clips. I mean, you can kind of just pry them out. Just hold them on top so they don't fly off. See, like that one just did. This 2. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get this panel off. This is the first one that needs to come off because this one's underneath it. So, flathead for these. There's a little. Yeah, there we go. Easy. There's a little notch right there where you can insert the flathead and pop it out. Alright, so the next step is taking off these 2 side panels here. They're held in place by 4 retaining clips. Here's the first one right here. So we're gonna go ahead and use our panel removal tools. Yeah, get that up. Alright, so here's a little trick. This is what these look like. So ensure that when you're taking them out and you start prying, that you don't start prying underneath the white part. Pry underneath the black part. That part comes off first, and then you can take out the white clip. And then obviously, to reinstall it, you do the opposite. You put in the white, and then you hammer in the black piece over it. And we're gonna do the same for the other 3, and be done. Once you take those 4 clips off, you can kind of just pull it right out. One more clip I forgot. It's up here. And now this thing should come off. There we go. Alright, the other side is identical, so I'm not going to go over the other side, but that's how you take that off. So I want to go ahead and remove this panel right here. I was debating whether I wanted to do this or not, but right here is the wheel well, and that is a big source of vibration and a big source of noise. So I wanted to remove this and do some sort of soundproofing under there. So in order to take this panel out, we have to remove this panel right here. Under here is an airbag, so just be very careful, but I mean, there's not much you can do. You just got to yank it out. Alright, there we go. So, 4 clips, 2 of them stayed. 1, 2. Be very careful with that, don't mess with it. So now that that panel's out, we need to remove one more, the one down here by the door. So, that one, all it does is pulls right out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. That one, I'm gonna leave it right here. Easy. Alright, now we can get this one out. This one's a little tougher. I mean, it still pulls out. There's nothing fancy about it, but it is a little bit harder. You got to remember that this bracket is here, so it has to come out further than that in order to be able to pull it out. But you just have to yank hard. There's a clip right here. There we go. Back here, that's the paint. There we go, I'll get that in a minute. Alright, so now that everything is out, I wanted to give you a quick little tour of the trunk. As you can see, it's pretty much bare metal. So there are tons of areas where it vibrates, especially when the sub is going. So you could hear that. That's terrible. Hear that? Same on the other side. Okay, you can see that they put some sound damping already here from the factory. We're gonna add some more all the way around. We're gonna add some here. We're gonna add some on the other side. We're gonna add some to these wheel wells, and we're also gonna add a layer of roadkill over or under the cargo tray. You know, that should quiet down the trunk considerably, but as you can see, there's just so much room. I'm also going to secure all the cables. There are some cables up there that are just loose, you know, from the factory, that are vibration points like this right there. So I'm gonna put foam all around all those cables so that if they do vibrate, they don't make a noise because they're not hitting metal. But as you can see, definitely glad that I took everything out because it definitely needs it. First thing I'm gonna do is I am going to clean the entire area with alcohol. It's a new car, yes, but there's still like a film of oil or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but you can definitely feel it when you run your, it's like a grease, a very light layer of grease. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean it with some alcohol. That way the damping material actually adheres to it very well. So that's what I'm doing now. So the next thing I'm gonna do while the alcohol is drying, and it dries pretty quickly, but I'm gonna go ahead and secure all these cables that are loose and that have rattle points with some of this foam tape. It's actually the soft side of Velcro, but it works great, and I happen to have a lot of it, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this and roll all those cables in some of this. That way they'll never rattle. Okay, so I'm done securing all the cables, and I was getting ready to put some sound damping material on here. And before I get started doing that, I wanted to take a quick little video just as a reference. So if anybody needs to see precisely what the inside of their trunk looks like, all stripped down for whatever reason. So this is it. That's the left side right there. That's the center right behind the seat. That's the right side. So there you go, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Put some of that sound damping material down, and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm done with the interior of the trunk. Everything went back perfectly fine. It looks great. You can't even tell it was in there, which is of course what you want after you do anything with a car. But there's still a couple areas that really need improvement. Right here, behind that, this little cover right here, this could use some sound damping material. You can kind of tell when I hit it. There's a vibration there, and once we put those sound damping tiles back there, that should eat those vibrations right up. And probably your biggest offender, if you have a system in this car that I have found, is this bumper. This bumper is just kind of loosely put in there. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I know that once I take it out, there's gonna be room for improvement in there one way or another. So we'll do that together. You can tell when I hit it. And all that, when the sub is going, that's what you hear when you're standing outside of the car. I hate it. Not only that, but when the sub is going, even if you're inside the car and you can't necessarily hear it, it still travels through the car and it eats up some of the sound. So the car will sound much better when the sub is hitting and you don't have that vibration. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with that. All right, so we're getting ready to take off the bumper. There's first step will be, there's two screws, one there and one over here. We're gonna go ahead and get those off. All right, so there's 3 clips on this side. 1, 2, 3 on the other side and 2 in the middle. So we're gonna go ahead and get those off. So there's 2 more clips to do. There's one here and one on the other side. They're identical. They're a little more finicky to take out than these. So way that I did it was, you kind of just got to get under it with a small screwdriver or something so you don't scratch anything up. It broke the clip. So no big deal, I'll simply get replacement clips. But it was a pain in the butt to get out because you have to pretty much, what you have to do is you have to get that pin out first. Once you get the pin out, then this comes off. But I mean, to get that out was just, without ruining it, was a pain in the butt. So anyhow, not a big deal. I'll just order some new clips and we'll be done with that. So now that our bumper is basically unattached from the frame, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of pry it out. So there are two more clips. They're right under here, one here and one on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those off. This is what it looks like. So if you need this for any sort of reference, that's it right here. All right, and I'm gonna show you what the card looks like. Here we go. So that's what a 2015 Plus WRX looks like without a rear bumper. Now there's a lot of mods where you have to remove the bumper to do, so it's kind of useful. Okay, so the source of all of those vibrations that I'm feeling inside is just basically where the bumper attaches to these little plastic clips. It's just, you know, plastic on plastic rattle. There's nothing to dampen that plastic on plastic contact, so that's causing all the rattles. To be perfectly honest, I did not know what the bumper would look like and what I would do about the rattling that was happening back there. I mean, I know that it's happening because the little plastic pieces are actually touching the plastic pieces in the car. So when the sub is going, you know, that's what's causing the rattling. There's not a lot of tolerance, not a lot of room to work with there. So all I did was just kind of put along the perimeter, I put tape all around it to hopefully make it fit more tightly so that there's no room for it to rattle. And I also took some of this foam tape right here, and I put some of the foam tape underneath in some of the spots where I knew that the bumper touched the car. So I hope that's enough, and if it's not a big deal. I didn't do anything permanent. This wasn't very hard to do anyhow. It's just a test, it's an experiment. So, you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. While I was looking around here, I realized that this panel right here is very thin and very prone to vibration. You can feel that right there. When I took out the trim from the trunk, I saw that it was like that, and I decided to just leave it. But now that I'm in here and I took out the bumper, I'm thinking I may just put some of that sound damping in there. Okay. See? The other side is worse. But all I'm doing is I'm gonna put a little tile right here on this side and a little tile right here. I should have done that when I had this stuff in the trunk out. Alright, so to get this panel off, all you need is a small flathead screwdriver like this one, and you'll be able to see the little notch on the side of the clips. Just kind of pry it in there. Alright, so there you go. So that's what this looks like taken out. All I'm doing is, because this kind of has a tendency to resonate with this panel right here, all I'm doing is I'm gonna put a couple little sound damping tiles on it just to give it a little bit more mass, and then maybe a couple Velcro strips so that the parts that touch against the metal don't have, you know, a plastic to metal vibration to them. Alright, so I just finished with this. So as you can see, all I did, I just added a couple, tiles of sound dampening material, and that's just gonna make it harder for the panel to vibrate. And then I put Velcro in every spot where I could identify that this plastic piece touches the metal, because that's where the vibrations were coming from also. So after I put this back, we should have a much quieter panel that just kind of sits there like it's supposed to. Alright, so I got my license plate here, and all I did with that, because it's a very thin piece of metal, you put a little, a little piece of sound dampening material, and that makes it, not resonate. And then I put a little bit of foam tape along the edges so that it doesn't hit the actual body of the car. So this should really fix the license plate. Alright, so I'm done with the installation of the sound damping, sound absorbing, or vibration absorbing material. That was my main goal with this, was to stop all the rattles, which there was a lot of rattles going on in here. I wanted to get the bass to hit tightly rather than kind of loosely with all the vibrations going on. So this area right here was just all over the place. So check this out now. I'm closing the trunk lid. Just a solid thud, which it's great. This is also fixed. I'm gonna get 4 screws, and once I do that, this won't even move or vibrate at all. Now it sounds like quality when I open it. It's insane. This right here, no more vibrations. Even the trunk, the bumper, that was a last minute thing. That little bit that we did was enough to stop those vibrations on the bumper. So I consider this, a success. I'm about to go and take it for a test drive and see what it feels like on the road and with the sub going. I'm also gonna give it a bath, because as you can see, it's filthy. So I'm gonna bathe her. But other than that, awesome. So